This video is the profound question that someone brought this up to me the other day, and I was like, you know what, that is a profound question. And if you're interested in learning more about how we would help you develop your plan to have this success with this question and other questions like this, go to gritgym.com/SS and sign up for your free strategy session there. Because until I ask you a bunch of questions, I have no idea where you're wanting to go or how to get there, okay? The internet is great because because it's full of answers. It's 99.99% of all known knowledge, but at the same time, it's a lot of answers with no questions, and that's a dangerous game. Not dangerous in a good way, in a bad way. But, you know, the question is, the profound question, and at first glance, it's like, oh, that's just like not the big a deal. It's just making small talk. But it's, what are you doing for the rest of the day? What are you doing today? You know? It's not that big of a question. It's like, well, what are you doing today? And we all just brush it off like no big deal. But that's a big question. Like, what are you planning to do today? What are you going to accomplish today? Because the moments of your life end up adding up to years and years and decades, and they become a thing. And then we look back at that and we're like, what could I have done different? You know, if you could go back 10 years, what could you do with the knowledge that you have now? And if you had the chance to do that now with yourself 10 years from now, what would you change? Well, you can kind of look at that. You can kind of figure that out. You can look at this thing and you can say, all right, well, what would I have done different 10 years ago? I did this one time. I didn't really mean to do this. Well, I meant to do it, but it wasn't really the exercise that I meant that I'm posing to you now, but it was something similar. So what I did was, someone asked me to ask myself in 10 years. This person was very spiritual, we'll call them. It was a really interesting exercise. So what I did, I asked myself, my 10-year self. So at the time I was 28, I was asking my 38-year-old self, you know, Adam, what should you do? What would you do if you could come back to now with the knowledge that you have at 38 when you're 28? Now, I thought that was kind of interesting. So, you know, and I had just done a meditation course, so I was still practicing the meditation. So I went into my meditation, then I asked myself, and to my surprise, there was this dude across the table from me. I'm not saying that I I think I created it. I'm not saying I was actually like transporting through time. I mean, who knows, but you know, I'll go there with you. But the cool thing was that he kept on asking me, well, what would you do 10 years ago? And I think I was 28 at the time. Maybe I was 27. But anyway, I was like, well, when I was 18, I wanted things that were totally different than what I'm having trouble with today. And he's like, okay, well, what would you have done when you were 18? And I was like, man, I'm asking about 38, about 28, and because you're 38, and what would you do now? And it came down to, and I was like, okay, well, and anyway, so what it came out to was at the end of the meditation, I open my eyes, timer goes off, I have a notebook right in front of me, I open the notebook and I start writing things down. I'm like, what would I have done different at 18 if I could go back in time? All right, so I was writing it down, I was like, I'd be more diligent with my time. I'd be better with my nutrition. I was pretty good with my nutrition. I'd be better with my workouts. I was pretty good with my workouts. I'd get a strength coach. I'd get this coach. I'd get a sports psych coach. I'd do this, and I'd do this, and I'd do this. I filled up about a page, maybe 2 pages of information, and I was like, that's what I would do different. The next day, I go back into the meditation. I do that same thing. I ask the same question, you know, what would you do if you could go back in time 10 years? Okay, if you could go back in time 10 years, what would you do different, Mr. 38-year-old Adam, when I was 28? And to my surprise, the guy leans forward, and he points at the list on the desk, and he goes, why don't you do that? And it hit me like a ton of bricks in that moment. I was just like, holy crap. Like that's insane. All the things that I was, conceptually, all the things that I was doing that I would have done different, that I was doing at 18, I was doing at 28. Right. All the things that could I have been more diligent with my time? Yes. Can I be more accountable to my nutrition? Yes. Could I be better with my training? Yes. Could I devote myself and be more obsessive? Yes. Could I do all these things that are going to get me to where I want to go? Yes. Okay. So why don't you do them now? That's the question. So write down, go back 10 years, write down all the things that you think that you could have done better 10 years ago, and then apply that to your today. And that today will become your tomorrow, okay? And you make that plan. This is one of the reasons that we have the One Life Planner. The One Life Planner, I fill this thing out every morning, right? So you have this so that you can plan your day. What are you doing for the rest of the day? This is a profound question. It is a profound question because if you're not making a plan, then you're living by the default. And if you're living by the default, you're going to end up with the life that you just would have had regardless of whatever you were going to do. Okay? Do you want to have the life that you choose, or do you want to have the life that you end up with? Okay? You want to have the life that you choose. Okay? So you have to make that plan. Any plan A is better than zero plan. If you're not planning, if you're not planning, you're planning to fail or whatever it is. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if you're not planning, you're planning to fail, but I know if you're not, that you always do make a plan, okay? Are you making the plan to live your default plan, or are you making the plan to live the life that you want? Okay? What are you doing with the rest of the day? It's a profound question when you really stop thinking about it. What am I going to do today? What am I planning to do today? What do I want to accomplish today? What do I want to experience today? Who do I want to affect today? How do I want to live my life today? What are you doing today? It's a big question, okay? And if you want to learn more about how we go through this with people, how we would go through this with you, go to gritgym.com/SS and get signed up for a strategy session there. And I think that you'll be amazed at how much we can get done in that 20 to 30 minute window that we have in that strategy session. But first, you have to commit to making, you have to make decisions. You want to make conscious decisions. You want to make conscious plans. You don't just want to live by the default of the decision that you just are going to have regardless of whatever you do. You don't want to live by the plan that you're already living. You want to make a conscious decision to live the life that you want. Okay, we all have a default. We're living it. Okay, how much of that can you make conscious? Okay, and if you're interested in learning how we do this with people, how we would do this with you, go to gritgym.com/SS and get signed up there. But what are you doing today? Put it down below. What are you doing today? Put it in the comment section below. I respond to every single comment on here. And if you're interested and I think you want to do this, take us up on this offer. It's free. It's a one-on-one strategy session. We'll sit down. We'll go over a bunch of different stuff. We'll make a plan. If you don't want to sign up here, that's okay. We want to help people. We want to help you. Okay? And you'd be amazed what we can get done in 20 to 30 minutes. It's 100% free. It lets me get to know you, you get to know me, and for us to get to help each other. Because even if you guys knew how much I get out of those strategy sessions, you'd understand why it's free. But anyway, go to gritgym.com/SS and get signed up there.